that's the good stuff. And then we get to choose who we let into our weird little worlds. You're not perfect, sport. And let me save you the suspense. This girl you met, she isn't perfect either. But the question is whether or not you're perfect for each other. That's the whole deal. That's what intimacy is all about.
Why don't you love me, Jenny? I'm not a smart man, but I know what love is.
Yeah.
What easy way? There is no easy way. No matter what I do, somebody gets hurt.
Would you stop thinking about what everyone wants? Stop thinking about what I want, what he wants, what your parents want. What do you want? What do you want?
It's not that simple.
What do you want?
I keep coming back to you. Ooh, I keep coming back. You put me through hell, but I just can't stay mad at you. Know me so well, but you don't even have a clue that I'm the one that cares the most tonight.
All right. welcome, folks. We are live. This is going to be pretty fun. Before we get started, first of all, move this out of the way so you guys can kind of see me.
Here's your water.
Here's my water. Okay, got water. Because I want a briefcase of $100 bills. There you go. Thank you for tuning in, guys. This is our new show. We've been doing a few of these already. But if you're new to us, my name is Gabe. Oh, no volume.
No volume on either side.
Oh.
Do we have it on mute?
It shouldn't be, but let me check. Hold on. Nope.
Either one. Okay.
Okay, it is showing. Let me check my system real quick. Hold on. It does this from time to time. Sorry, folks. Oh God, I hate that it does that.
So the sound just turns.
Okay, guys, you tell me if you can hear us now. We should be a go. Let me know. Good. Can you hear us? Check. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Mic check. That was a minute ago. I'm just trying to see if anybody can hear us now. C. Okay.
C.
Who's
Adia.
that?
That's my little niece. My
Ways
niece
back.
is
We're good. Okay.
watching.
We are good. It's good. Life is good. Okay. Before we get started, hi, everybody. If you're new to the show, how can you barely? Hold on. Let me buff.
Barely. What about now?
How about now?
Can you hear us now better?
Any better? 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2.
No, they're turned up.
Yeah, we got them turned up. I mean,
Hello. Does it sound better?
anything. Oh, let's try this up. All right, you guys let us know if you can hear us. This is fun. All right. We're going to just fly with it and see what happens. Just let us know in the comments. You guys are good? Okay.
Awesome.
All right,
How are
it's
y'all doing? How's everybody
Crystal.
doing tonight?
You can hear Yvette better than me.
Probably because I have a teacher voice and I project.
Yes, a lot better than I can. Okay, here we go. My name is Gabe Leal. This is my partner in love, is what I say. My PIL, I guess you could say, instead of a partner in crime.
I'm your pill.
My pill. That's right. She's my love pill. Yvette Richardson, guys. This is our new show, Unwrap Love. Now, we've been doing a few of these already. We are starting to get a little bit more formulated in how we're going to do the presentation and be out here to you guys. Now, we just got to get on a better schedule.
Yeah, but we figured it's Saturday night. I mean, y'all aren't going to bed early, are you?
Yeah, I mean, come on. Who goes to bed
I
this
know.
early?
Randy's staying up tonight.
Yeah. So, but one of the things that was kind of cool that we got to do today together as a group was, as a unit, or as a, God, I'm losing my train of thought. As a couple, we got to do a coffee chat this morning with my good friend Miss Melissa Houston, which was fun. We got to go on there.
We didn't have to get dressed or ready. We just rolled out of bed. It was nice.
Yes. So it was good. It was good that we got to the opportunity to, just relax, have a good conversation. We had I think 35, 40 people that showed up. It was fun. We got to speak for 2 hours, had some laughs, shared a little bit about love and what we are. So what we're going to do.
Getting closer, Randy.
Getting closer. There you go. Only 5 hours.
Yeah, it was fun talking on Melissa's show and being able to share a little bit about ourselves, what we're doing, how we're going to start running the show. We didn't give any sneak peeks on some of our topics, but we came up with a pretty cool topic that I think is very relevant today. And a lot of people are facing this problem.
Yes. So today we're going to be talking about catfishing. So I'm not talking about getting a rod and reel, going out to the lake and, casting your reel and trying to. We're talking about in how it pertains to the online, in the online dating world. So we have both recently had experiences with online dating. It was, an experience in itself to do the undertaking of putting yourself out there and just trying to find somebody and how to meet people in modern society these days. It's all through technology. It's not like back in the day when you had to get a girl's phone number, call her, talk for hours on the phone, and then finally, get the chance to, meet her in person. This is a little bit different in terms of how you go about conversating and finding whether or not you can match with the person. It's how dating is done these days. And
well, it's been around for at least 20 years because I did it back in my 20s. I was brave back then, and I decided to do some online dating in my mid-20s online. Back when Match was on the computer, you had to go to a website. They didn't have apps back then or smartphones like they have now. And so it was, going online to a website to set up your account and meet people. And it was a lot easier to do it for free back then. Now, a lot of the places charge money, and it's really hard to get it for free unless you go to Facebook dating. So that one's free, and Hinge, which is free. And I'm sorry, I was hoping I'd meet somebody in person, not online. But if I was going to meet him online, I wasn't going to pay for it. I was not going to pay to meet a guy. That just seems weird. So, I went on the freebie ones. What about you, honey?
Yeah, well, it's not the same for guys in this world. I guess for me, smartphones are only smart as the one using them. Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Makes perfect sense, Randy. But yes, for me, it was to get out into the dating world. It was having to pay. It was one of those things for guys. It's a little bit different where, now a lot of these dating apps, they entice women to come on here because they know we're guys, right? We're sometimes at the lowest common denominator, we're scum. Not all men, but what I mean by that is they go on there for the purpose of finding women and judging them based on their looks. So that's all they're going to do in the beginning. That's what Tinder pretty much is. You're looking at girls and go swipe left, swipe right. Not even looking into their personality. That the bios that they give you are one word, one sentence, 2 sentence bios to look at somebody, and you have to make a decision on whether I like this person or not. So yes, and exactly, this is where I was heading to. You were you were alluding right to where I was going to. So then you connect with somebody and you meet them, and then it's you start talking and you think, oh, okay, this person might be interesting. And then what do? They send, can I send you a message? And you open it up and it's the eggplant eggplant emoji you're looking at going, oh my God. So
some of them are definitely like that. Or they start off with the sexual jokes on day 1 or day 2.
Yes.
Hey, Yolanda, good to have you on.
Yes. So, but you know, to me, the whole process was a little arduous to get myself acclimated to dating, because I'd been in almost a 24-year relationship. So, like for me, it was a culture shock to go back out into the dating world again and go, oh my fucking God, this is how we have to do things. It was terrible in the beginning. And the reason we wanted to talk about catfishing is because there were a few times, even as a guy, where I would reach out to a girl and start talking, and then it became very difficult to have conversation, and you would want to go to the next level, like, hey, maybe we can jump on a call, or maybe like some of these apps now offer video chats through the app now. And it was like, hey, my preface is to jump on video and maybe connect. And a lot of the times they were like, well, I don't want to do that. Like, my phone's not charged. Yeah, it was always something. Yeah, send me money. Exactly.
Yes, the Catfishers.
Yeah. And you guys know what's with the look. This is why I say there are good guys out in the world. There's also bad guys in the world, and that's again where I call them the lowest common denominator, because that's probably the first ones that reach out to you, ladies. It's like, hey, how you doing? You're beautiful, sexy pic. Guess what? Here it is. You know, and you open the message, and there it is. His Johnson's looking at you, and you're like, oh my God, what is it? And, and a lot of them, but I started to realize there's a lot of bots, and I don't know why they would like want to create that. But yeah,
make money.
Probably make money. But then here's the other part that's pretty sick about it, is that once you get interested in someone, and say you like pare down and you're able to wallow through the crap, like all the shit you go through to find a person, and you start talking with them, and then you start realizing that things don't like add up all of a sudden, and you start wondering into yourself, am I being catfished? Like, is this person real?
Yeah, one guy, I could tell something was off, because for some reason, a lot of the ones that were trying to catfish me were widows. And so there was a common denominator when it came to a catfish, the ones that I experienced. So they were widows, they were in the military, they only had a few pictures on the computer, and then their English language was a little off. And so I started asking them, so what part of Nigeria are you from? And then I would mysteriously get blocked from them. They would totally stop talking to me. And I was like, bingo, they're from Nigeria. So yeah, instead of becoming defensive and saying like, what are you talking about? They knew I had caught them. And so they gave up. But this is happening so frequently now. And there was a 20% increase of catfishers when 2020 hit during COVID time. And it's just kind of gone up from there. And sadly, yes, all ages can be affected and catfished, but it's really affecting some of the younger generation and the elderly. So my mom has a friend who actually sold her house, to give the guy that she's in love with money. Sold her house to give him money. And she still tries to send him money. And she still believes all his lies, like he's stuck out of the country. He's going to be here one day. He promises, makes all these promises and says he loves her, and just takes and takes and takes. And she's never done a video chat with him. Never. She doesn't even know, like, she believes what he says. And my mom has tried to convince her. She's in her 60s. So, she, for some reason, she won't believe anybody that this guy's a catfish. So she keeps sending him money.
Yeah. And that's, and that's the thing, is like, it's the whole scams that a lot of these, individuals in other countries like try to target a certain sect of people. And it seems like it's either the young or the young and inexperienced, or the old and naive that they kind of prey on. And that's the way they operate. They'll keep softly poking until they can find the right one. And then all of a sudden they know how to exploit. and do things and start asking these questions. I mean, come on, ladies, if you haven't watched this, it's on Netflix. I don't know if it's still available, but The Tinder Swindler was just one of those things that was eye-opening when I got into the dating world. Like, oh my God, like people can get just, I mean, even if you think they're real, are you sure that's the person that it's actually who they're actually saying who they are? That's the crazy part.
Yeah, and there's a stat too that 42% of Tinder users have reported being catfished. 42%, and on Facebook, it's 48% of people report being catfished. So it's, I mean, almost half of the people that you meet online could possibly be a catfish.
And honestly, listen to those statistics. I mean, 42%. That's almost half. So you have to wallow through 42% to even know if a person is real. It's why, like, it was one of the first things that I've started realizing when somebody would ask, "Are these your real pics?" Or like, it was kind of scary for me. It was hard for me to say that, but then I would go, "Look, I'm all over on social media. Like, I create live streams, I do content, I do all these other things." Oh, hold on a sec.
So yeah, he does all these other things, and he could also come into contact with a catfisher, even on LinkedIn.
Yeah, trust me, they're there. I mean, ladies, come on, you got to be kidding me. They're there. If you're ever on any of these social media platforms, not just LinkedIn, you think this is a professional platform all the time. It's it happens all the time here. You think guys that are like CFOs, COOs, and you think, oh, okay, he's a professional person, he's an entrepreneur, he's all this, and it's the same stuff that still happens no matter what. I mean, come on. It's just the way that some people are in this world. They're just that individual. But what like I was saying, that 42% of the people that say that they get catfished on an app like Tinder, how much do you have to wade through to even find the real person? And then at that point, what is it? What is it to say that person is even saying this truthful about what they are, what they're expressing, even if they are the same person in the picture and everything else? It's almost like a crapshoot. You don't know what you're gonna get. I think my friend said it kind of jokingly, but it was funny. She's like, she said online dating is like going to a job interview for a job I don't even know if I like or want. So, I mean, it's hard. You're like, okay, I got to go meet this person. I got to go meet somebody. And I don't even know if this is the person I'm going to like. So it's hard enough to try to find a real, honest, genuine person. And it can happen. I mean, we're proof. We're here. Because of it.
And I think it's important, that's one of the things that you have to do is not always trust and believe them right away. I was talking to Gabe. He had sent me a video, but he could have totally been somebody else impersonating the real Gabe. And so I told him during that first week, hey, we need to set up a FaceTime call, like, this weekend if possible, because, I can do it early morning. And so we set up a virtual date for the first week we were talking, because I wanted to make sure who I was talking to. So you have to know that first, even before you go on the physical date. I think it's important to know who you're talking to.
Absolutely. And, it's just like I said, nowadays it's so hard to tell whether it's real or fake. It's like, the cake things where they do, is it cake or is it real or is it cake, where they cut it in half and you're like, oh my God, it's cake. How can this be? It's crazy the things that they can do. And technology is no different. I mean, it's littered all over I'm mentioning another social media outlet, but TikTok has a lot of these where there are creators who create on there and then they have copycat accounts and they simply change a dot or a letter or they reverse it. And
I don't even know who Tyler Griffith is, but I guess he's a good influencer.
Yeah,
but I have
commentator.
I think I have 5 different Tyler Griffiths that follow me on one of my TikTok channels. I'm like, I know there's not 5 of you.
Yeah. And that's the scary part, is like I said, you want to put your trust, and you're looking to find love, right? You're looking to be vulnerable and honest with somebody. And yeah, this is the hard part about it, where you can understand why women, or just a person in general, has their walls up.
Mm.
It's hard to build trust like that when you've gone through it a few times, and you spend a lot of time investing and talking with somebody and sharing with somebody, and you realize it's all for naught, because this person isn't real. It doesn't exist. It's a
Oh, yeah.
photo. It's
Yeah, and approximately 53% of the people that are catfished are women. So it primarily affects women, but men can be catfished too.
yep.
But you don't always usually hear those stories. And so, but men can be catfished and send money to a woman that's not real. So it's women that are doing it to catfish the men, and men doing it to find to prey on the women.
And
So
I always
it's
think about
both.
it, but I always think about it in terms of like, what's the whole purpose? And people, a lot of times it's money, but then there's times where there's no money involved, and they still, I don't know what they get out of it. Like, we saw a romantic comedy where that was the basis of the story. This writer was writing about all her dating in L.A., and she meets this guy online, and he's like the perfect guy, and she takes this risk to go meet him. She flies all the way to New York to go meet him, shows up there, and it turns out that it's somebody completely different. She went for a whole journey, and got catfished, and ended up, and the whole story's, I mean, it's kind of convoluted, but she ends up staying with the family of this person that catfished her, and they eventually fall in love. I don't know if that's the end goal for some of these people. It's like, hopefully.
Some of it is. I don't know if you ever saw the show Catfished. So there was a TV show called Catfish, and the person running the show would say, "Hey, like, you've never," they'd question somebody and say, "You've never met the person, you've never FaceTime him." No, there's always these excuses. I've never seen them, but I'd really want to know if they're a catfish or not. And so they would make the trip, travel over there, knock on their door, and try to see if that person was a catfish or not. And so a lot of times they were definitely catfish. But some of them decided, you know what, we created such an amazing bond, even though, we didn't see each other face to face. I think we can make it work. And some of them actually did. So they ended up staying in that relationship. Not very many, but some did.
Mm. And that's, to me, I'm like, that that's a that is a very winding road to find a way to love, like to go through all of that, and with the hopes that this person might end up still, liking you, and might want to end up being with you. And I mean, the most direct approach is just being honest and open about who you are, just sharing, being vulnerable. Um, but but I'm just gonna say it like this. I mean, even on a professional platform, guys, being on LinkedIn, and not everybody's watching on LinkedIn, but those that are, probably been reached out to somebody from another company or somewhere else, and they send you, it looks like a bot message or something that seems very fake, and you're like, man, I don't know whether or not to trust these people. The thing that I go with and I look at on the platform is like, hey, they're following. If they got like 99 people following you, and they're sending you saying, the broken English and everything, okay, you're setting yourself up if you like talk any further with this person. So yeah, I mean, it even happens in the professional form of networking here on LinkedIn. So yeah, it's kind of crazy that these things do happen, but in terms of how we talk about it in love and what you want to do, it hurts even worse, because you want to be open and vulnerable, and you really want to explore the opportunity to find love, and it's
Yeah.
difficult.
Even our pastor at our church has been facing this problem. Somebody took his photos, added them to a dating apps, and are catfishing people using his images. And he feels extremely terrible and almost responsible for it, because they're his images. People have been scammed from $20,000 to $30,000 off of his pictures. So he's
What's
this is a
up?
dilemma. This is a problem that a lot of people are falling into. Even in 2020, it was reported that $304 million estimated cost from the victims of romance scams, which included catfishing.
Mm.
304 million in 2020.
Woo! It's like a cottage industry. God, it's crazy. What's up? It's my brother Julio. Thanks for tuning in over on Facebook. Appreciate you. But it is real. That's right, Jessica. It is real. And you know, I'm just gonna like, and this is just again my everything that we express here is just from a lot of it from our own personal experiences. But the hard part about all of this is that I found myself a lot of times apprehensive, and I don't know what I missed out on sometimes on maybe meeting somebody. Like I got lucky and I met the right woman for me. But had I not, I would have been like, how many times would I bypass something because I didn't know if it was real or true to follow through. And that was the hard part. I think that was one of the hard parts for me about trusting, getting on online dating. And I'm somebody who's been such an open book. I mean, like I said, but when I went into the dating scene and everything else, I'd have been on YouTube. I'd been on LinkedIn. I've been on across all different social media. So I was used to like dealing with people in conversations, but never in terms of how I wanted to place my heart and try to find love. It was a little bit more difficult for me. And I tried it once. It didn't, I the first time that I got catfished, I didn't know if I wanted to even continue to do this. I thought about maybe I have to meet somebody at church. Like I wanted to go the old school route of like meeting somebody. Like it was somebody you knew in your town, somebody at your school, somebody you met in college, just people around you was like what I felt was a safe bet. But then I told myself, well, again, do I allow this to affect me and not give myself the opportunity to meet the right person? Thank God I didn't, because I did find the right person, and here we are actually talking about this on a podcast. So yeah, it was hard. It was very hard to really step past that, but I can't imagine what it's like to actually fall prey to it and what it does to your psyche. I mean, it's really got to mess with you mentally, especially in terms when it comes to love.
Hey, Julio, I just wanted to say hi, and that was a very funny comment.
Yes.
I mean, if you really want, we could write up a book and sell it to you.
Yes.
So that, maybe that would help you out.
We do need a how-to book. We'll eventually write a how-to book.
But I think he wants to know how to actually catfish. And be successful. I think that's the kind of book he's asking for.
So I like this. Jessica said I had a similar issue, and it blew up my world. It was unreal.
Yeah. I was catfished in my 20s. I was 19. I was younger. But it was back before there was online dating platforms. And so I was kind of ending this relationship or trying to get out of a relationship. It was an abusive relationship that I was in, and I knew I didn't need to be with him. And, he had actually got locked up again. And so I was at the house, and I decided I was lonely, and I decided to call that little chat line that you used to be able to do back in the day and talk to people. So I got on there, I started talking to guys, and then eventually this guy started talking back to me and was interested, and we developed a relationship. So we started talking, and everything was going great. He was, complimenting me and saying all these things like he was falling in love with me, and I was getting all giddy and thought, oh my gosh, this guy is so sweet. And I was so vulnerable coming out of that relationship that I fell for it right away. And then all of a sudden one day, a lady calls me and she says that she's his mom. And she's like, yeah, I'm Rusty's mom. And Rusty had this incident where he was walking down the street, minding his own business, and some police stopped him. And when they stopped him, they were asking where he was going and hassling him. They searched him and found a knife on him. And because it was too large for, I guess, the law in that area, they arrested him. And she's like, he's in jail now. And we really, I need to get him out. He can pay you back whenever he gets out, but we just need $200 to bail him out. And so I said, okay. And I went to the Western Union and I wired them $200. Never got it back. But I still kept believing for a while until my until my sister decided to do a little investigation and found out that he was scamming me. And so that's how I figured it out. And so after that, it was very hard for me to trust anybody on that phone line. I never used it again. But I did take a chance and risk in the online dating world.
Yes, we are here because of it. And let's say hello to our good friend, Mr. Dan Roth. He actually has a statement here. He said, yes, I'm being serious with the following statement. So yes, I am serious. I was catfished at age 17. I would,
Yeah. And we talked about guys can get catfish too.
I would want to hear, I would love to hear like what everybody's stories are, like if they've been through
Yeah.
it, or they actually, because it affects somebody in your family. It's probably happened. Um, again, I know a few people in my own circle that have had, who've had the opportunity, well, not the opportunity, but they went through they went through the trouble of doing all of this, dating somebody, and then finding out it's not real. And it's terrible. I mean, it's a terrible feeling to have someone build you up, like tell you all these wonderful things, and especially when your psyche's like broke and you're like trying to just find somebody who can make you feel good. Like sometimes that's what that's part of it. That's how that's how they bring you in. Essentially, they start making you feel good. They start telling you, and we've talked
Find
about
out your
this love bombing.
weaknesses. They find your weaknesses too.
Well, I do look good in hats. I'll look. I know myself. I know I look good. I'm sexy in a hat. That's why I wear it.
With or without, honey.
With this, see, look at there. Love that. Instant validation. But yeah, I mean, and the scary part is that it's only getting better. Technology, even though we've had all these advancements, think about the world of AI and how that's going to affect catfishing into the future. I mean, people are going to be able to write statements. They're going to be able to they might at some point be able to take my voice, like, because there's so much audio out there of me, and put it into an AI machine. It'll learn how to speak for me and say these things. So I might be, whispering sweet nothings to somebody else, and they're like, this is AI Gabe. Like, he's this romantic dude. I'm already a romantic dude. I don't need AI to do that for me, but it's just scary enough that it could be a possibility going into the future.
Yeah, and it could mess up relationships, because people could be like, your man is cheating on you because he's been calling me and we've been talking, and I just want to let you know that your man's cheating. He's talking to me now. And she's like, what? And it's all AI. It's not even that person cheating. So
yeah, and it's again, man, hold on, let me go to this other scene. Oh, that's from the other day. We'll go to the big scene. But yeah, and I'm gonna pull up our logo so they can actually see it. I think they were having a problem seeing it in the background. That's okay.
Yeah.
We'll work through that. I'm watching on mute, so if you're talking to me, I have no idea. It is a safer way. It's that's safe, Dan. Way to go. Smart thinking. But no, the hard for me, I'm sorry. The hard part for me though, and is that there's no way to kind of police this. It's hard to like think about it and say, like, how do you control this? It's almost like
the platforms aren't doing enough to control the people that are on the platform. Like, there's not enough people to monitor and to be moderators of it. So a lot of it just gets let go. I mean, you can report it, but then they turn around and create a whole new account again.
yes. So hold on a second. I'm doing something funny here. I want y'all to see our logo.
Now our logo is all over us.
Well, they want to see. I think they're talking about our logo. Hopefully they are.
No, I think they're talking about the one on your hat, maybe.
Oh. All right. Well, I guess I can turn this one off then. All right. Sorry, folks. I was just trying to make you be able to see what our logo is like, because it's kind of, we like it. It's like, let me move it out of the way. There you go. It's gone. But yeah, it's
comments though.
Oh yeah, let me pull the comments back in. There you go. But like I said, AI has kind of, again, the technological advances in computer learning and the things that we're using it for, they are useful tools. But, you know, the hard part is that these same useful tools that we see in education, that we see into how we can use it to help with, business, with growth, um, it can also be used for bad. I mean, it can be used for evil. They can take the same technologies and learn how to use it against people, and it's scary that AI is getting really good. I mean, and again, we're only talking about scraping the tip of the iceberg with it. In a few years, how good can it be, and how does that affect the dating world when people spend so much time online trying to find love? I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry in trying to find love. I mean, people spend hours upon hours and dollars upon dollars every month trying to find the right person. And it's only, to me, it's
Yeah,
going to make it a
and
little bit harder.
they do. And here's another stat that's interesting. 38% of victims continue the conversation and communication with their catfisher even after discovering that they've been deceived. So I've heard stories of people that were dying of cancer and they realized that the person they were talking to was a catfish. And they're like, you know what? It's okay. I'm fine with the fact that they're a catfisher. And other people too, just that are not dying, or they just are okay with the fact that they've been deceived. They continue the conversation. So 38% of people continue talking to the person that's catfishing them.
Wow. Wow. I mean, I don't know. Are people just that, like, I don't know, in some situations, desperate for conversation, desperate for connection? I mean, to me, I'm pretty sure I feel like you can find meaningful connections in just about every avenue of your life, whether it's at work, whether it's at church, whether it's you being on a Facebook group, who knows? Um, but yeah, listen to this. Okay, I love this. When I was talking about AI, according to Forbes, by 2025, AI generated profiles will pose a significant threat, contributing to the rise of sophisticated catfishing.
Yeah.
So their mindset's already going where I was, and I didn't even read
Yeah,
that
because
stat yet.
you can create pictures through AI of like fake humans. So you don't have to steal people's pictures anymore. You can create AI generated photos.
I mean, thank God LinkedIn like stepped up their game a little bit by doing like yeah, Justin, you lower third. So thank you, sir. Appreciate it. But adjusted, got it. But no, LinkedIn a few years ago, like it was like the wild, wild west. I mean, I literally could go, and I'm guilty of this. I'm just saying this. LinkedIn might hear it, they might not. I don't know. But I used to go take other people's profile pictures, go create and change my name and everything else, and I would go on other chat streams commenting as other people. Now I did it jokingly, and I only did it to people that I knew and trusted, and they would think it was funny. I knew them, so it wasn't like it was just me, trying to pull the wool over somebody's eyes. It was I wasn't trying to do it to be advantageous in any way. I was just doing it as a comical relief. So it was funny, but then I thought about it and I said, man, how many other people could do this? Like to go to somebody, like I could go to Jessica's profile, copy, steal her photo, go create another profile, or go to my profile, make one, and then go start reaching out, making connections as her. I mean, it's crazy what they can do these days. And
Yeah, and Julio said that it was when COVID happened, it increased online dating more. Absolutely, because you couldn't go outside for a while, but that's when catfishing also increased as well.
hello, Bill Bradford. It's been a while, my friend. Thank you for tuning in. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's again, man, it's hard. It's hard sometimes to really open up, and we even come here and say this is a really safe space to share. We want people to be able to come and talk about their things and everything else. But I mean, in all honesty, do you actually know this person? Do you actually like have you ever had a conversation? Have you, like, I know I trust Dan because I've had a video chat with Dan. I've talked with him numerous times. I mean, we text. I know he's a real person. But to somebody who's new to LinkedIn, that doesn't mean shit. Like, that's like, I don't know whether or not he's a real person. And if you've been catfished, that's only going to make you more weary. So I was so old as I signed a coffee and bagel thinking it was DoorDash for breakfast. Oh God. Dan. Only you. I'm so old. Well, anyway, but part of the reason why we wanted to talk about this tonight, and it's because we hear the horror stories. We hear the stories of people who we talk to, and they open up to us, and they start telling us these things, and halfway through the story, we're like, "Oh my God, we know where this is going. They're getting catfished." Like, the telltale signs are there, and sometimes if you're not, I mean, it's crazy, but people want to believe that so much in love and that this other person cares about them so much. They ignore all the red flags and the warning signs enough to say, okay, I'm going to continue it on. Just like the stat, 38% of the people who find out that their catfisher isn't real continue the conversation. I mean, to me, that's kind of ludicrous. I don't know.
Yeah, it's sad. It's really sad, like thinking how lonely people must feel to feel the need to do that.
I know. And baby, that was the one thing that I really liked about you, because when we started talking, it didn't take you very long to say, let's hop on a video call. And I was like, I'm game for that. Trust me, I love being on video. I love talking. So let's do that. But how many people avoid it because they might be, again, camera shy? They're not used to that. Some of the older generation don't feel comfortable being on video. So that kind of limits it. So even if they take the old school route of, well, let's get on the phone. I mean, you could be just as easily catfished over the phone. I mean, like your story, this person's mom called you and you're like, okay. And you know no better than to say, I trust this person, because they've known that I didn't pick up on anything saying that this wasn't real and this person wasn't saying who they were, or not being who they say they were. Excuse me. Got caught up there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it happened to me. I mean, it almost happened again with people talking when I first started dating, but I just started like reading between the lines. And, especially if they said they were a widow in the military, they weren't in the country, their English was a little off and they're supposed to be American, it was red flags. And so that's why I asked them, like, so what part of Nigeria are you from? And it would throw them off and they would block me. So I knew that I had found a catfish. So that was usually my line to figure it out.
Yeah, but man, I'm like, part of me still feels for the people that have to kind of go through this. I mean, we talk about this all the time between the two of us. Like, thank God we don't have to do this anymore. For the rest of our lives, that's the plan. But again, having just the little dalliances of having to be in the online dating world, it's enough to drive a person to say, you know what, I give up. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Yeah. It's crazy.
Especially if you get scammed out of so much money. I'm sure it's really hard to trust again. I got scammed only out of $200, but still, it was $200. And back then that was a lot of money. That was half my rent. My rent was $400. That was $200 was half my rent. So it was, still something, and that I had to learn, how to navigate through dating and not get scammed again. But it can happen to anybody.
Yep. And, excuse me, sorry, my throat is still a little dry, but for just in terms of where we want to go and what we're discussing here, the reason is because we want to open people's eyes, because there's, here's the thing. There's people that are probably in relationships right now whether it's a marriage, whether it's a long-term thing, whether it's, they haven't had to go out and experience this. And then one day, life changes, things happen. I mean, gosh, COVID showed us it like I'm still waiting to see the statistics on divorce during COVID or the immediate effects afterwards. But then people were having to be thrown into the world of dating again. And it's not such an easy task. And, there is a thrill and there's fun that kind of can go behind this. But you have to think about it in terms of like, I, as an individual, want to be honest and be truthful in what I say, in what I do. I mean, especially when you're somebody who's always been that way, and you're going to find yourself like overwhelmed because you don't know what to make of it. I'm an honest person going out there sharing about myself and, hey, I'm a father of 4 and all these other things. And I mean, it was crazy. I could not figure out where my compass was pointing. It was all over the map, and it was a scary world. And I'm saying it's not. I mean, it can be navigated. I just think it's more acclimated to the younger sect of individuals still out there in the dating world, who've grown up a lot more on social media and who have used technology most of their lives. Like our generation was a little bit different because we kind of didn't have technology in the very beginning, and it kind of progressed as we grew older. So we had to learn and, got acclimated to using technology where it's kids are born and a few months later, they're holding their cell phone. They're holding a tablet in their hand watching YouTube. So yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Hi, Dr. Constance.
Hello, Dr. Constance. How are you? But yeah, it's, whoa, I didn't see Jessica's comment. Let me try to pull that up here. Pretty big one. Oh, there it goes. They definitely have, and they have met pests, didn't okay. Oh man, there, but that's okay. We'll work through it. But yeah, if you're just tuning in, guys, we are talking, and we have been talking about the online dating world and catfishing, and just how difficult it is to navigate the world of online dating and how easily it can actually happen to somebody. I mean, we both had experiences, and we're pretty knowledgeable, and we think we know what we're doing, right? We try, and we found ourselves in instances where we got catfished. So, I mean, if and we're logical people, we're like, yeah, we're pretty smart. I mean, she's working on her master's, and I'm somebody who's learned how to do the technical stuff for live streaming and everything else, and I figured just we couldn't find ourselves being taken advantage of, and we did.
Yeah, but at least like this time around, I saw the signs when I was talking to some of the people. So the conversations didn't last very long. Like I figured it out pretty soon. When I was younger, not so much. And Gabe too, you didn't send any money, did you?
No.
So
luckily I was broke. I was too broke to send money. The closest thing they could get from me was like a virtual IOU. It's like, hey, can you pass that through like a Cash App or something? Because it's not I can't make it. It's not gonna work.
Oh no, you got catfish last year, Dr. Constance.
About me and my catfishing skills, my successes. You think
you didn't send any money, did you?
Oh, please, Dr. Constance, please don't tell us you sent money. I mean, that's kind of the worst feeling is once you realize it and the money's gone and there's nothing you can do about it because this person is in a what is it called now? A developing or not? I don't want to say
developing country.
Developing country, is that what they call it? Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be third world or something.
Yeah, but now it's like
developing.
a developing country now. So, they're just there.
They wanted 100,000. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, there's actually a YouTube video that's hilarious. I can't remember the name of the guy that does the video, but he basically there's somebody that emails him. I think his name is Solomon or something. and he's asking for an investment in gold. And so this guy does a TED talk on it, and he's like, okay, Solomon, let's talk about this deal. And he just prolongs the conversation. They go back
Yes.
and forth forever. And he's like, we need to use code names. And so he comes up with all these like crazy names for everything and makes him say it when he's typing to him. And he's like, no, we need more gold. And he's just running this guy along. And he says, well, I figure I'm doing it to save anybody else from being catfished, because if I can, string him along long enough, then he's not catfishing anybody else. We're just talking. So it's a pretty funny one.
I love that line. Thank you, Dr. Constance. She says, I said, do you realize I'm a teacher on a teacher's salary? Do you want to send me money instead? I'll send you a course. There you go. Like, I'm going to trade education. That's why I said I said virtual IOUs. I could never go that far because I was like, man, I got 4 kids. Are you kidding me? There's no way like 100K. I mean, that's like a whole nother realm for me. But yeah, pretty funny.
Oh, yeah.
Great story. But yeah, at least you didn't fall prey to it. But again, it happens to the best of us. Like we find ourselves in some of these situations. And of course, again, we're human. We are people. We want to find connection. We do want to find romance. You do want to find somebody you can, spend the rest of your life with. I mean, that's the hope. That's at least the thought, the desire that you're kind of hoping for when you take on one of these journeys of going out into the dating world. So you want to put yourself out there again, and then you run into things like this, and it sours the feelings sometimes for some people. And again, I will reiterate, it soured it for me. It made me step away for a little bit before I really said, okay, I got to try again. And I just got to wade through all the bullshit to find myself the right person. And it's worth the work. I'll tell you that much. It's worth it to get through there. Don't. Well, anytime anybody asks you for money, come on, you got to be kidding me. There's no way I'd be able to do that.
Yeah, it is worth it to weed them out. So you have to talk to them, and then figure it out, move on. Figure it out, move on. Like, don't waste a lot of your time talking to ones that could be a catfish, ones that are definitely not, saying, you can tell and read through the lines that they may not be a sincere person. You go on that first date and there's no chemistry. Like, you move on and you find what you're looking for. And then, that's how me and Gabe ended up.
And, and to touch on again, what we were in the beginning, for those who weren't here, we talked about her mother's friend. Like, she's an older woman and she sold, listen to crazy. This is crazy. Oh my God, this is so crazy. She sold her house, like where she had lived for all these years with her ex-husband her husband, her widow. She's a widow. Where she'd lived all these years with her husband, they've invested so much in her house and everything else, and then she sells it because this new guy comes along and puts these butterflies in her stomach and has her heart aflutter and is telling her all these wonderful things, and then, hey, then here comes the ask. It's the buildup. It's like, can you send me money? She sent him money, just to send him money. It's just she's like selling out of her house to give a guy that's lost somewhere else, in some other world, in some other country, who's now like, yeah, I got a woman to string along. I mean, how many women do they probably have like that?
Oh, yeah. I'm sure multiples. They keep looking for more and more to scam. It's terrible. I mean, I feel like they have no conscience. Like, they have no empathy. They don't have any remorse. They just keep taking and taking. Yeah, and Dr. Constance, that's too much money to spend on nails. Like, I try to get the basic done when I get my nails done. I never get the fake ones because I hate how when they peel off, they just leave your nails so brittle and thin. And so I've only had my nails, like the fake nails put on there, maybe 3 times my whole life, or 2 times, something like that. Yeah, I don't do that. I try to do my own.
Look how crazy is this? Look at this. So my mom lost $4K from a puppy scam just a month ago. and I lost $700 from it. People are so mean. Yeah.
Dang.
No feel. I mean, that's the thing
I
is
could
they
have been getting
pray.
your nails done 3 times.
Yeah. That's right. It's like,
Oh my
I lost 3
gosh.
nail sessions. Oh my God. Like how
Dang
crazy.
it. That's a
It's
lot
crazy.
of money.
So yeah, it is a lot of money. And
Hi, Dr. Chong.
yes, thank you so much for tuning in. We are talking about catfishing. So I don't know if you've ever experienced that. But it again, was one of those things where it's so difficult. And so she says she lives in San Diego, 2 burgers from McDonald's. Oh my
Oh,
God.
heck no. No wonder so many people are leaving
Wow.
Cali and coming to Texas. That's not what we pay here. But yeah, too many people are coming over here and starting to get packed. There's so much traffic.
So much traffic. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's okay. Hey, we'll take the good ones.
Yes.
Come on, Dr. Constance.
Good ones. Good
We'll take the good
ones
ones. But yeah, I mean, it's a difficult way to have to think about life and how you just, you don't think that most people, you live with a good heart, right? And you want to look for the good in people. You do. I mean, I think as people who are very open and very genuine about who they are and just being authentic, you want to come from a place of believing and trust that this person is good and they have the best interest in you. And then they turn around and they do something so terrible to you. Like it scars us. It has to. Psychologically, it has to scar us. Like Dr. Constance will never again go into I want a puppy and I'm going to, spend $700 for it. Like she'll never again have to, because now in her mind, she's like, is this real or is this fake? And that's how just the world that we live in fucks people up in their minds. And it's even worse when you attach it to love. Like then you're playing affairs of the heart, and it's even worse because then you can break someone down psychologically, and some people get traumatized. It's crazy. It's hard. Like they don't want to trust love anymore. And I'm somebody who pushes for love. I love love. That's why we're here talking about it. But then you see things like this, and you're like, sometimes you just can't defend it. You can't defend it. And you can't just say it's the idiocy of the person who it happens to either. Sometimes people, they're just genuine themselves and they don't know that they're always naive. So it's hard. So I don't know. It's crazy.
Dang, the puppy she was trying to buy was $4,700.
Oh, look at this. There's some Fab gel kits out there. Whole kit for like $50 and $25 US. Okay.
Yep. That was for Dr. Constance.
So there you go.
It was $4,700.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh. That's an expensive dog.
Yeah.
I paid $300 for my bird. I thought that was a lot.
You're right. Everything is bigger in Texas. Thank you. Appreciate it. We do have a lot of bigger things in Texas. Bigger hearts. Yes. Bigger. It's a big state, right? It's like driving 3 states across, just going from one end of Texas to the other. So just kind of how crazy the land mass is around here. And so, yeah, it is bigger, but, I don't know. It, like I say, I sometimes get frustrated thinking about it because I know there's so many people out in this world who want to really take that journey of finding the right person for themselves. And they never will because they get scarred. They have things like this happen to them, and it sours the taste in their mouth of saying, I want to go find that person for me. And it's hard for some people to move past that. And, I don't ever want to hear another story of like somebody that's close to me, but I know that it'll happen. It's just the pure statistics of it.
And there needs to be some kind of like warning or education or something on these sites that says beware of a catfisher. Like these are things to look out for, something to help people before they go on these dating sites, like maybe some kind of educational material, something to help them understand what to look for, what are the red flags of someone that could catfish you, and to not give away your heart so easily. Like so many people just give up their heart and give up their trust and give up everything before they even really know that person. And, that's how they are easily sucked into that situation.
Yeah. And like I said, with the advent of machine learning and AI, it's only going to get worse before it gets better. You know, it's like the criminals are always 2 steps ahead. They realize very quickly that, oh my God, there's an app for this. I can steal someone's information. I can steal someone's voice. I can steal someone's video image of themselves nowadays. That's how insane it can go. And you know what? Somebody might say, hey, I'm just going to use this. They might say, hey, Jessica's pretty, or Dr. Constance is pretty. I'm going to use her image and take her voice and do it. And there's somebody across the, in other parts of the world that don't know who this individual is. So they'll get to have a conversation with them when they say, oh, this person is like so great and incredible, and they're beautiful, and they're talking to me, and all the hopes get built up, and then only to get burnt and let down later on when they realize like it's not real. And that's what scares me about some of the things about AI. AI is great. I love it. Trust me, we use it for a lot of things, but again, there's always just like there's a light side to everything, there's a dark side. Yeah, there's a dark side to everything. Oh, look at that. Our host from this morning, Miss Melissa Houston, is stopping by. Hello.
Hi, Melissa.
So, yeah, we were actually having a little conversation earlier. We took the clip, so I took the audio and stripped it down. So I have a clip now for Felipe, and it's going to be fun. I'm going to share it tomorrow on LinkedIn. So that'll be fun. We were on Melissa's coffee chat. We mentioned at the beginning of the show, and we got to experience that together and talk about love and the show and everything else that we're going to be building here. So yeah, it was a good time. No, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Okay, see. Okay. Always got to make sure. And again, this is what I love about what we're doing together. I mean, we're learning together like how to coexist and building the chemistry. And she's very good at some of the structured things that I kind of sometimes slip through the cracks. So
I fill in a little bit of the holes, and then it comes out really good.
Yeah, we work well together. I think
we do.
So yeah, you can watch the replay. It'll be fun. But yeah, some of these things that we're going to be discussing even further as we go along here in the upcoming weeks are going to be dealing with the beginning process of online dating and getting started, because that's where the process ultimately these days begins. It starts with having to learn what it is to online date, and there's a lot of us here who've gotten out of relationships and have to go discover and navigate this world. And I think that's a big discussion point that we want to delve deeper into, and learning how to do this. So maybe you don't find yourself in a point where you catfish because you come across as too real, too authentic, or you just kind of know the ins and outs of what to look for. I think that's what we want to do, is to give a little tips and advice of just our own experiences in online dating, so that maybe another person doesn't have to go through this and fall prey. And if, again, we just help one person, that's more than enough, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we definitely have we have a big I want to say, well, it's not a task, but we do have a big wall to have to move past, because it's just so not poignant, but prevalent out there as far as like how people can be manipulated, and there's so many forms of it, and it happens online, it happens behind the scenes, it happens everywhere. And we just want to be able to talk about and express that, apart from the happy stuff, because we do want to talk about the happy stuff. We love talking about the happy stuff of how love is important, and kissing and hugging, because we're going to have episodes on that. Like, there might people be grossed out because then their like 13-year-old self goes, I can't see two people kiss on the camera. Come on. We're 40.
That's why we're all adults here.
Yes. So let's see what Dr.
Even our kids are used to it. They don't even say anything. They don't ew and nothing. They're used to us kissing all the time.
I'm going to read Dr. Constance's comment, so big, but recently someone DM'd me saying, hey, doctor. Oh, come on. Do it again. Hey, Dr. Leland, if I invite you to this leadership award, are you interested? I said, can you show me Dr. Leland's profile? Oh, wow. So they were catfishing using you. I was truly curious, and they said, oh, I can't. I said, why not? I said, I love to meet Dr. Lena. I think somebody's using my name for a leadership award. So
If you get a DM, watch out.
yeah, I
Never
will never
ask.
ask for money unless you are on my project. I hate catfishers. Yep. Gosh.
Yeah. Some of them
So
aren't
it's
good.
already probably happened.
They're rookies. They're probably like young kids being trained.
So yeah, they've already learned that. I guess they've already started using you already. Poor Dr.
Yes.
Constance. I feel about that. Oh, and Burt's Bees. I guess
Oh,
they see your text.
you're looking at everything, huh?
Yes, the Burt
Yes,
Bees.
it's good because my lips get dry when I talk too much, and yeah, so I have to keep my lips hydrated.
Yeah. Plus, I kiss them all the time, so yeah, just gotta keep. Yes. No, I'm just kidding. But no,
That's true.
it is true. Okay. I'm gonna be honest. No, but again, the whole point of it is to help educate, help others, bring this out into the light that some of the topics that we're talking to and how, each of us, why am I losing? Is programmed and wired, and how our emotions and psyches play into how we look at love, how we ingest love, and the things in our lives, and how it affects it. And this is part of it. This is part of the ways that you can really mess with someone's psyche and have them build a distrust for love, like close off their hearts. And it's sad. It's sad when it happens to somebody, because most people, when they open up, you see this beautiful side of them. You see them flourish. Like, I didn't even know this existed, but it's because they have these walls up where they've already been scarred and traumatized from dating and meeting people and over again, getting catfished multiple times. I mean,
Yeah, because a lot of people too, and even if they weren't catfish, like they take their past and then they apply it to the new relationship. And so immediately they start comparing and saying, oh, well, you're kind of like my ex, or you're not like my ex, or, you do this or you do that. And, and I think that's common with almost anybody, because you have this past experience to go by, and it's something new in the new relationship. So even Gabe and I, sometimes we're doing it a little bit, but we talked about it and said, you know what, let's try not to talk about the exes at all. Like, let's just work on us. Let's work and grow in our love, because that's what matters. Today is what matters. This moment is what matters, not what happened in our past.
yeah, and we're gonna have a discussion about that, like what scorekeeping is. Like that, like there are relationships, and trust me, I know people and have had conversations and actually witnessed it, where people keep score in their relationships of things. It's like they have their board, their whiteboard on their walls, and everything that they do, they have a check mark, and they can always go back and bring that up. It's like, hey, I did this for you, and I did this for you, and I did this for you, and they hold it over you, and just to keep score of like who's done more for the other, or who's not carrying your weight. It's just it's a terrible way to have a relationship.
Yeah, or some people don't want to do something for you because they don't want you to do something for them because they're afraid that you're going to ask the same thing of them. For example, like I've been in a relationship before where I tried to rub on the guy's back, and I was like, just being nice, rubbing on their back, and they're like, oh, I don't like how that feels. Like, it's okay, you don't have to rub my back. And then, yeah, he never rubbed mine. So I think that he was purposely doing that because he didn't want to rub my back. And so I didn't get back rubs for years.
Ooh,
years.
So we're gonna have a few of those conversations. One of the other ones that we wanted to, oh my God, the love languages. We were just talking about it. Like we got to do a little bit more research because we learned something kind of cool today. It's always fun to learn, but we want to learn more about the love languages and how each person kind of expresses them. That's going to be a topic of discussion. We got so many. I mean, that's the thing about love. It's so awesome that you can have so many different avenues and discussion points that you can bring up, and the way I see it, we shouldn't have anything to run out to talk about because from anything and everything that has to do with love, whether it's the love of a child, a family member, a dog, a career. I mean, love is all encompassing, so we won't run out of topics. Um, but we do want to come from a point of making sure that we can help somebody and educate the masses and ourselves as well. I mean, I'm here to learn from it as well. Like I'm learning things today about catfishing myself that I wasn't in a place of going, oh my gosh, like it, these numbers and the things that we're sharing in the statistics that you see are horrible. And, you know,
Yeah.
it was part of the journey of having to go out and date. So, it happens so quickly. And I feel sorry I feel sorry that some people just don't know what it is and the difference and how to kind of navigate it through. And that's where we hopefully can come along and bring on experts to talk about how to prevent this, like how to stop yourself when you find yourself maybe in a catfish and how to turn things around. So I don't know. It's going to be fun. This journey together and just what we get to share, it's been pretty awesome.
Yes, it has been. I've enjoyed and loved every moment of it. And I'm so glad that Gabe took the time to go offline for a little bit to grow our relationship. It really, really helped us because, yeah, we fell in love with each other in 2 weeks. 2 weeks we were confessing love. And then we said, okay, we're boyfriend, girlfriend. We said it on the phone before we even met in person. Yeah, he's like, will you be my girlfriend? And I was like, sure. So we kind of did the whole like jumping into it really fast in the beginning. And yes, it was real. It's love. Um, but what we've also realized is that every day we grow in it even more. And it's like, we've had this conversation multiple times where I just look at him and I just feel like my heart racing and I feel butterflies and I'm still feeling it. And it's what, 10 months later?
10 months later.
That's record, isn't it? To
Yes.
still feel butterflies.
Yes.
We're going on 11 months. And so she's putting up red flags.
I know.
Yeah, typically it is a red flag situation. You're not supposed to, like all the books say, and a lot of websites and a lot of psychologists say, oh, that's moving too fast. Love takes time to grow. But there's no time clock, I don't think, on love at all. You
Nope.
can love a person. If you have love yourself, you can share it. You can share it with other people. And I was willing to share it with him. He was willing to share it with me. And every day it just gets better and better. And that's when I look in his eyes and I'm like, I love you more today, more. And then the next day I'm like, I don't know how it's possible, but I keep loving you more. Like every day I love you more. There's something I'm learning about you. There's something that we're growing together. And so all that time that Gabe took off, that's what we were doing, is just falling in love with each other over and over every day and just growing that love. And so doing this show together has just been so much fun. I get butterflies over it. I think it's amazing that he was willing to bring me into his world, because not everybody will do that.
Nope.
A lot of people want to keep it separate because they want to be their individual self, which I totally get. It's important to keep who you are. And that's not what we're doing. We're not losing our identities by joining forces and becoming partners. We're just kind of like, what's the word? We're becoming ourselves, but also a unit, because we've
Yep.
joined together, and I'm helping him, he's helping me, and we're just improving our own individual lives, but also being together. And
Yep.
it's the best kind of love I've ever had.
Yeah. Yes. And it's like I said, it's been awesome. But it's even better now that I get to do the things like this. And she's starting to see the value in it and sharing and talking about it, and why your own experiences are pretty important to put out into the world, because, your experiences that you've gone through in the dating world, and some of the things that you've found yourself in, some of the situations that you have found yourself in, are valuable to somebody else. I mean, you just got to express it to them, and hopefully it's enough to resonate with them at the right time to maybe open their eyes and say, okay, this is not the route I need to go. I need to change. So that's the way we're gonna continue to handle it. But yeah, it's been fun this evening. I mean, I don't know how long have we been going? Like, an hour and 15 minutes. We're getting better at it. We did a 3-hour one.
Yes, I can't believe it didn't even feel like 3 hours when we did 3 hours. I
Yeah.
can't believe we were on that long. And there were some people that there was, what is it, Jaime? He was going grocery shopping. He went home. He unloaded. He was like, okay, I'll be right back. He came back and he stayed. He was a trooper. Stayed with us almost the whole 3 hours.
Yes. It was quite the feat to stay there the whole time. I was like, oh my gosh, like commitment, like life goals. All right, but we would just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Hopefully, I'm gonna change that from hopefully, but next week we will start scheduling our lives during the week. We are deciding to go on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then once we start recording the podcast. We will start releasing those like on a Friday, so we'll release those as well. So we got a schedule that we're trying to work into, and hopefully that we can keep you guys around a little bit longer. I know it's fun to do the things late night, but for some people it's way too late on the East Coast. So it's like, 11:52 on, it's 11:52 on a Saturday night. Come on, you should be doing something.
Yeah.
How old are you? You already in bed? Like, come on. Get it together. Just kidding.
And it's only 8:52 and
on the West Coast.
On the West
What are y'all
Coast.
doing?
Yeah.
I mean,
but we're gonna start at about 8:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's getting my daughter to sleep, and so I try to start getting her into bed by around 6. But it's a process, the bath, the teeth, the reading the stories. I sing to her, we pray. So I go through a whole process, and it takes a little while. And then she finally passes out. So yeah, that we do that. And I try to get her to bed as early as possible because that child needs her sleep. Oh my goodness, she needs her sleep.
So yeah, that's the goal going forward. But yes, if you guys want to check us out, we do have some of our past episodes that we've gone live with the last few weeks. We're uploading them now to our new YouTube channel. So if you want to go check us out on YouTube, it is www.youtube.com/@unwraplove. And you can follow us on Facebook. Same thing, facebook.com/unwraplove. And then we will be launching as well our
yes, that is so true, Jessica. If I don't get my sleep, I could get triggered because I have bipolar. So I have to I try to get at least 7 hours of sleep a night. So I definitely need my sleep too.
Yeah. So if you're not subscribed yet, please head over to the YouTube channel. I will eventually start leading everything over to there. As well on all of our other social media platforms. So you can check us out there on TikTok as well. We will start doing our TikToks. We'll be putting videos on there talking about stuff.
Yeah, I've already been adding some stuff. So if you want to go to TikTok, it's at unwrap.love. And I have a question on there. So if you go find it, please answer the question. So it's posted on TikTok, and then I also posted it on our Facebook page.
On our Facebook page. Okay, awesome. And then we will start, again, ramping up the our Love Talk group, where we're going to bring a lot of these questions that people have for us. And if you have a question or subject matter you would like for us to discuss or to go do a little exploration on, you can send us a email at unwraploveshow@gmail.com. We're working on the website to get all these other things up and running so that you guys will be able to follow us just about everywhere. You won't have any excuses. You won't say, well, you're not here. And I'll go, na. Yes, we are. Like, go check us out. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Right now, you can tell me that, but later on, we will have everything covered, and we will have our own pretty swag pretty soon. We're working on that. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we just want everybody to hop along and be a part of the journey. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a lot of fun doing this, guys. You guys are going to enjoy it.
Next topic, love is sleep, she said. Yes. Well, how you need to love your sleep.
Hey, that is part of love. That's self-love, self-care. We will discuss that as well, like what that is. Mm-hmm. You know, it's all part of how you grow and find yourself in love. Like you said earlier in the conversation, you got to learn how to love yourself before you love somebody else. And that's part of it. Taking care of yourself and sleeping and doing all the wonderful things to take care of your own body and your own mind. So,
Yes.
all right. You got anything else to add, sweetheart?
I love you.
I love you. Okay. All right, folks. We will be back. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow. We don't know. Right?
Yeah, we could, because we really like live streaming.
We do.
I mean, we don't have the kids, so it's easy. It's a lot easier.
It's a lot easier to do it there. So, yeah, we will definitely, possibly. Does that make sense? Definitely, possibly.
Definitely, possibly, maybe.
Maybe.
Most likely
we'll do one tomorrow. Hopefully not as late. We'll probably get an earlier jump on that one. But all right, until then, guys, you go lay your heads on your comfy pillows, say your prayers, put your teeth under the pillow, tooth fairy, the whole 9 yards.
I like that too, Jessica, when someone makes you calm enough to chill.
That's right. That's what we do.
Yes, I love that with him.
Yeah.
We can just lay there in silence, and it's like so beautiful. Like, you don't always have to talk all the time. You don't. You can just like cuddle and lay there and enjoy each other's presence, and it's amazing.
It is amazing. So, all right, guys, you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. We will talk to you again tomorrow, and then we will also start planning everything next week. So until then, live, love, and serve like no one else, and you will definitely change the world around you. And
absolutely.
There you go. All right, guys. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.